Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new NVIDIA daily update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over NVIDIA. Let's talk about what has happened to the king of the markets. Are we still getting that rally into earnings? It's just in a couple of days now. Or is that dream not really looking so good anymore? I'll go over, what I personally see and what I personally believe and, all that good stuff. So if you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice. And I'm not a financial advisor, guys. But again, as per usual, if you enjoy my technical analysis, thoughts on the charts, updates, and you want to hear my thoughts, post updates as the markets open throughout the trading day itself, again, definitely consider joining the YouTube membership. The link is down below in the description of the video. It's the first link where you get access to all my updates for the tier one section, I guess, for just $3 a month, guys. Includes all my Tesla updates, different time frame analysis, different options flow, and also includes the broader market, right? SPY, Q, VIX. $5 USD a month includes NVIDIA for tier 2. Then tier 3 for $7 USD a month includes everything else, the whole package essentially, where you get access to my tier 3 posts that are essentially individual tickers that are not Tesla and NVIDIA. And access to my Discord, the private Discord, where we have a tier 3 chat room and chart reviews every single Sunday, guys. So again, would love to have you there. But yeah, jumping into it, a bit of a painful day in the market again. NVIDIA down, we'll say almost 2% on the day, closing at 186.7, we'll say. So the daily time frame continues to hold a pretty key level of about 185. This area was a massive area of resistance here, support here, resistance here. Now back to support, which is good. As long as we continue holding this sort of, 183 to 185-ish zone, yeah, things are looking pretty good for now, obviously. But again, we have earnings coming up, which is why to me right now, the daily is fairly irrelevant, only because the daily takes too long to show and play out something when the earnings is just in 2 days. You know what I mean? So whatever we see on the daily might not really matter, only because earnings is in 2 days. It's just, there's not enough time for the daily to matter. You know what I mean? So this is why I'm mainly continuing to focus on the 1 hour time frame. Now, what is the 1 hour time frame showing us, guys? Well, we're continuing to reject this trend line. This trend line is continuing to reject us over and over and over and over, right? We had that nice attempt here. It was looking pretty good. We were getting close to that breakout. We just need to get back above, like I said, about 191 to 192. Well, unfortunately, we obviously could not do that just yet. Got that gap down, and now we're continuing to sort of chop here. Now, because it is a descending trend line, the level to break for NVIDIA to arguably have a breakout and potentially still have a quick little run up into earnings. At this point, it will most likely be to 195 now, because again, we're just taking too long to break out. It would be a breakout above, at this point, pretty much even 190. Even breaking above 190 on NVIDIA would be already arguably a breakout. Again, since this trend line is, of course, descending, naturally, that sort of threshold to break for, well, a breakout to happen, continues to slowly decrease with price as long as we're continuing in that, well, downward trend ultimately, right? So that's kind of the main thing I'm watching. So pretty much all eyes tomorrow on about $190 per share, which if broken, we can maybe even see a quick little $5 move up to about 195 into earnings. Best case scenario, I still view as 199 to 200. But again, because it's taking so long, it is reducing the probability of that. But again, like I've been saying for quite some time and for, I don't know, weeks, maybe even honestly at this point, maybe not weeks, no, but about a week. We need a breakout of this trend line, guys. Until we get the breakout, we've just been sort of bleeding downwards slowly but surely. Once we get that breakout, that's that confirmation, and we should be going higher. But again, this is all short-term games, right? This is all short-term games because earnings is in just a couple of days, right? After market closes, if I'm not mistaken, on Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday market close. So if something were to happen, hey, it better happen soon, because once earnings is pretty much about to happen, it's anyone's guess. It's unknown territory. I'm not going to pretend to know what's going to happen on earnings, if it'll go up, if it'll go down. Maybe it just goes flat even, right? We don't know. And I'm not going to try to pretend to know, right? Anyone that tries to pretend to say that technical analysis can predict earnings, well, nah. Nope. Incorrect. So again, nice, short, quick, simple video. I'm making the NVIDIA videos very simple, very quick and to the point right now, because I don't really care about anything else other than whether or not this 1 hour can finally get that breakout and we get that small little pop to the upside before earnings actually finally happens. That's all I care about right now. 1 hour time frame is the only time frame, in my opinion, that's meaningful, that will have enough time to still play out this potential breakout with the last 2 days of trading remaining before earnings hits the spotlight. So let's continue monitoring that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue seeing how this actually ultimately plays out. But all in all, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And that's pretty much the simple way of eyeballing it, at least in my opinion. In terms of options flow, the bulls are definitely outnumbering the bears. About 2-1 here, maybe slightly more actually than 2-1. But, the most recent flow in the last, we'll say, couple hours or so of the day, very mixed flow. Not really seeing anything too blatant in one direction. You can argue that there is this sort of, 260 call, which I told my members about when it happened. 1128, which is 11:20, that's next week, right? Yeah, next week's November 235 call for 260K. Someone's betting on earnings going very, very well. They have a 3.2 million call over here for 175 strikes, so it is extremely in the money. There might be a 1 delta, to be honest, so it's pretty much like buying the underlying. But nonetheless, for December 5th, so it's pretty short, so it's probably even more risky, actually, but it is very in the money, so someone's doing a more quote-unquote safe bet, maybe gamble, if you will, on earnings, or maybe a quick little run-up into earnings. I don't know the intention, of course, but nonetheless, that's probably the only two things that really caught my eye. Otherwise, nothing really, guys. So let's continue monitoring this and let's see how this plays out above this trend line. All we need to do, guys, this trend line needs to snap. Until that happens, technically speaking, you know, we could get another rejection and another lower push down closer to 181/180. But all in all, that's all I got for you. So let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.